So that's how we do tech on the back end. But yes, hello. So just again to say it all, I'm Ashley, your brand strategist. This is Ronnie Bartles, your business strategist, and we are here for you for Mimosa Hotline.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
Look, I got my eyebrows done today.
It looks so good. I was going to say that before the call, but I wanted to compliment you on the call. So they look amazing. I know. I got mine microbladed. What did you do?
Tint.
Tint. It looks amazing. Yeah.
I did my eyelashes and my brows, and now you can actually see them.
I mean,
I have no mascara on right now.
Not fair. I have gobs and I love it. Yes. It's funny. Let's start with this.
This has nothing to do with business,
branding,
but it's
and marketing.
Okay.
It all matters. It's part of it. But no, this is it. It's like, the same way that we design our businesses, we need to remember to design ourselves, and living by design and not default, which one of my mentors is saying right now, is a huge thing. And I think one of the topics that I wanted to talk about, which kind of just proved my point, so thank you for this, was always being ready,
Yes.
And I think that we as business owners, like I caught myself this week, I want to own it, in a dorm style living situation, dishes, moving boxes, like everything is a kerfluffle. The cats are like, what do we do in this place? And it's like, I kind of caught myself because then I had a guest over, and yes, they were very nice because they were saying like, I know you're moving, it's fine. But like someone should have waved like a hazard flag to be like, Ashley, you need to take 5 seconds. And the whole reason of saying this is like, grooming ourselves to be ready for the next job, grooming ourselves so that we can slow down our grooming time and just be ready for the next client and things. And I think for both of us, we are so fair and skin so light and all the things. I'm going to just call myself out on this, but I feel like a naked mole rat in the morning sometimes without all of this, because like you can't see anything, like nothing. So it's always nice to, do those little things that just zhuzh up your day, but also help you feel better, look better, do better, and be ready.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, after the past 3 years of being at home with COVID, and at first it was kind of like, oh man, this is really nice. I can kind of like not spend so much time doing all of this stuff. But I think you and I work from home. So many people work from home. Like you really just have to get out of your pajamas. I mean, while yes, I get it. Like it's easy to like just jump in, get on your computer, not have to worry about anything. Sometimes just to get your day started, you do better work if you actually get ready.
It's interesting. I started my business as an image consultant, wardrobe stylist, personal brand consultant. And I would always say, dress like your life depends on it, because it does. And you never know where the next opportunity is going to come from. And maybe this is just a moment for me to like share, but also sacrificial lamb moment. So I had some pretty amazing news happen on Tuesday, right? So let me just like give this background. I'm not going to tell everything. I'm just going to tell the situation of why it's relevant. So I have this amazing news, and I'm just, it was one of the work from home days. I think I'm wearing my not the cute jeans, but the jeans and just like a tank top or something. So I decided to go up the street and get a glass of Prosecco to celebrate, because it was such instantaneous. It wasn't like something I could plan to celebrate. I just needed to go. So I go up to this nice restaurant we have up the street. And then sure enough, one of my old connections comes and meets me, and they may or may not be a designer. So there I am in my jeans and t-shirt, and I'm just like, this is awesome. But you don't know. So that's the whole thing, is like, dress for the day that you want, not the day you think you're going to have, because you never know how it could turn out. And then that invitation still leads to other things. And then we were sitting there, and yes, because we were sitting outside, maybe this was a thing, but people kept passing that we knew. So like, good news, bad news, in a small town, you're going to see people. And I used to say, like, even dress up to go to the grocery store. You don't know if you're going to see a client. You don't know if you're going to see a vendor. You don't know if you're going to see a friend. And I remember one of my people calling me from the freezer section, being like, I'm hiding in the freezer section, Ashley. I was dressed in my gardening clothes, and one of my clients walked in the front. I don't know what to do. I was like, go to the bakery section. It's at the very back. And like try to help them get out of the store. But it's interesting. It matters because we feel different when we do it, but others notice. And when you take that extra time to invest in yourselves, others will too.
Yeah. Yeah. it's just a feeling more than anything else. Like, I know for me, like there are days, I'm sure Alan in the morning is like, she's not going anywhere or doing anything. I don't understand why she's putting makeup on. Like, it's just for me, like you never know when somebody all of a sudden is like, hey, can we jump on Zoom real quick for 10 minutes and talk about this thing? And you just don't know. And it just makes me feel better that I can like walk in the bathroom and look in the mirror and not scare myself.
I mean, amen. Me too. Right now, I know. I keep like, who's that?
I mean, with that She-Hulk, I would be too. I'd be like, hi.
I'd be like, who's that? Who's that? See something? Yeah, my mom was a flight attendant, and she actually taught me this growing up with pajamas. So her biggest thing was, you never know at a hotel if you get stranded or maybe there's a fire, you're going to have to evacuate, and you should always be able to evacuate looking okay, because in case you get displaced or there's cute firefighters. I swear this is how she taught. The actual story was, in case you're ever displaced at a hotel and there's cute firefighters, they will escort you back first. Swear to God, that's what she said. So I've always had this thing about pajamas that they have to be matching and in a set in case I get evacuated, which doesn't make sense, but it's like how we're raised on things, So yeah, I like that. But that goes to the point of always be ready, and I caught myself like, yes, there are circumstances where like I'm moving, like we all expect it to be crazy, but I definitely let it go. Like I was not, not cute. It was like, but I think that's the other thing too we should talk about is times of change and transition. We can kind of let ourselves go when we're trying to shift into business, or it's a different evolution or a different phase or a different chapter, however you want to say it. I'm going to stop repeating the same thing. But
I'm a little distracted by your cat behind your head.
I know.
Sorry. I mean, I love it. But
me too. And it's like, what do we do?
I'm not listening to you right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to my cat assistant. This would be Dragon.
He's way into it today.
It's like moving art. Have you ever seen that? Or like live art or something?
He matches everything. Like
that was on purpose.
It just is like perfectly situated as he sat there and he had his like look. And then he jumped up and I was like
board of directors, like he's like, I agree with this. I would like to show how to always be ready. Do you need help down or are you good?
Yep. I am here for my 10 minutes of fame. Thank you.
I mean,
it is what it is.
And now he's just gonna give us shade, just give us the back, just snub. Okay, well, maybe if I can't see. That actually kind of works. Really can't.
Adorable.
Well, I mean, that's the whole extra bonus of working from home is like now we get these cat assistants, dog assistants, anything that just kind of like come in and hang out, say the things. But yeah. This is going to be good. When he goes after the blinds.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I don't know what we were talking about.
We were talking about always being ready. We were talking about times of transition and in change and how we can kind of let ourselves go in growth phases or change phases and to be mindful of that, because but it's also life. It's also those things. Like I felt really good this morning when I like woke up and I was like, okay, so I gave myself 2 days to honestly feel the shock, awe, and wow of this celebration. And I needed it. I needed to sit in it and I needed to be like, oh my God, this happened, like, wow. And then it's kind of like you come out of it and it's like, okay, now it's time to like clean, do dishes, clean the bathroom, put your clothes away. Like, even if it is into a box right now, like just get yourself together. But isn't it true? That's like that's always when we meet someone.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Details.
Yeah. Well, I not to like last week we talked a little bit about the woo side of things, but kind of getting into the woo side of it all. I also am kind of probably getting ready to go into that change phase too, because of this whole business deal and things being different and all of that stuff. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like, I wonder if like is this something that's happening for people just universally? Like, is this a common theme for everybody? You know, or I mean, I'm sure it is for a lot of people. Everybody goes through changes.
All I can say is I do know we have a Mercury retrograde coming up, not soon. So everybody don't grab your chair just yet, but it's going to be September 9th that I know we have a retrograde coming up. And, you know, I always find when we start talking, because like right now I'm on the West Coast or on the East Coast, and I'll be like, is there something in the air? And you'll be like, yes, on those days.
Yeah.
But I think there has to be something in the air, because all I can say is I have been, I don't know, what would you say? It's at least 30 days now in like the ultimate season of change. There's not a single thing in my life that has not been touched or changed.
Yeah. And I think I'm probably coming into that.
Yeah.
You know, you probably kind of are a little further along. I'm coming into that kind of just business wise with a few things going on. But I mean, if you ask an astrologer, they're going to tell you it's the
Retrograde.
US's Pluto return, which is always like bringing shadow to light, kind of like a lot of change energy. So it could be just the energy of that as well. But I find it interesting that you're going through that, and then like I'm probably getting ready to start into something like that, of like being through a lot of change and then having to be ready for it.
Oh yeah.
Because,
I think I was ready, but I wasn't ready for it to happen, I guess, this quick and easy. Like that's what's been weird. So another thing we can tell everybody too, like you can attest to this because being a bestie, you know these things. I was kind of in the dark zone for a while. Like nothing was moving. Everything was static. Just nothing would move. If I couldn't have kicked it out of place. Like it was just so, anyways, we made one decision for me. My one decision was, okay, let's not wait to move to Chicago. Let's go now. And I think you can totally agree to this, but it has been a bloody domino effect. And now everything has clicked into place that I was waiting for, given a go, given a whatever, all the things. So it's been really interesting.
Yeah. That concept of a body in motion stays in motion.
Ooh. I'm just going to let you have that moment. That was amazing. Yeah, it's been interesting. And I think there's also been moments in it, for me at least, where are you sure has come through. Like, just not it's been interesting in this round of changes, I'll say. I am so sure that it's almost been like playful when it comes up as a test. I'm like, there's no swaying this. Like, everything, literally everything. Yeah.
I mean, that's what change does.
Yes. Someone, something I'm embodying now that I never have been before was, all of us look for balance and all of us look for stability and all of us look for this. Well, I have actually realized, I've actually realized my stability is change.
Oh yeah. You've said that before.
But it's like wild to see it and be in it, because now that, I've had maybe I had a shot. I'm now having like a fifth or a bottle of this change. And it's interesting. I really feel like I'm thriving, where when I try and find balance and stability, I die like a slow death. I feel almost like a shark. I've said this to other people too. Like I feel like a shark, where a shark will die if they stop swimming. And it feels very similar to me. Like if I stop moving, I stop changing, I stop bringing either innovation, novelty, new into my world, I just get like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
So,
for you, it's consistent change. For me, it's consistent letting go of control.
I felt that one.
Yeah. So it is hard to do. I'd love to say I'm a recovering perfectionist. I am by far not, but I'd like to say that one day.
Maybe not recovering, just certified perfectionist and rocking
it. But I think that I notice it for me when I finally let go of control. of like controlling the situation, controlling the outcome, and realizing the only thing I control is my input. And that's when I notice things shift and move in the direction I want it to move in. So it's still making decisions and still doing things, but kind of letting go of controlling it to get what I want.
Totally. I had picked the word surrender for my like word of the year. And I really thought that was like giving up and giving over. And now I'm realizing surrender is really just that release of control for the specific outcome and realizing the potential for that or better, and just like sitting back to it. So yes, I think that's a powerful phase and learning and just growth moment, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it, you know, I would find it really interesting, like if anybody's out there watching it, like what is the thing that they notice that like your constant has changed, my constant is control. Like what are other people's, just kind of interesting to see how people's are different in that regard and how it changes their business and their lives. You know, I know you and I talk about this whole concept like Shauna Van Bogart talks about, it just being all the time. And it's a hard concept. It sounds very easy, you know, just be, let it be. And it sounds easy. It is not easy at all.
I have hired probably 5 coaches to teach me how to just be. Yeah.
Right. Like what does that even, what is it? How do you do that? Like,
you know, I'm learning it in a weird way now because I hired people to teach me to do it. So then I could do it, you know, thinking it was like,
it's you feel like it's something somebody can teach you to do when it's not.
It's not at all. I've been, I just had a very interesting, I don't know if I want to talk about this yet, but I'm going to, so let's do it anyways. Cause that's how I am. Like, should I do this? No, let's do it.
Fuck it.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Let's have yeah. Okay. So, in kind of the realm I'm in right now, my advisors, business coaches, things have all been very focused on like high end, getting high sales, you know, the larger ticket prices, the price perception, all this jazz. And one of the assignments was, you know, this is where I say this humbly, so I hope it comes out okay, but I have an energy of wealth and I am often surrounded by wealthy people, not by imposing, not by status climbing. It's just kind of who I attract and who I'm around. And especially this week, I was around yet again, people of wealth, and it's just very different how they act. Like my firsthand experience of wealth and how it acts and how it engages. And then what's taught to us, you know, what's taught to us is to take a picture on a floating blow up swan and then have like, you know, throwing monies. And then you go and meet them and they are so conservative, yet then they, you know, hey, do you mind if we stop by my house really fast? And you pull up and it is like a bloody mansion. And you're just like, whoa, okay. It's a thing, right? And so I was thinking one of my assignments that this coach had me do was to join a social club. And social clubs are great. Like today, you're at one, right? Where are you today?
I'm at the Harbor Club today, yeah.
You're at the Harbor Club today, right? So there is a need for that. But there's also just picking up the phone, having conversations. And
this is a common theme for us.
Yeah, wealth isn't planned. It's not a membership. It's not a buy-in to get in. It's a being, is what I'm trying to pull it back to this point of what you were saying is being. And I don't think I've really let myself be all of me. And I got called out this week in all of the best ways. People are complimenting my She-Hawk. People are complimenting my aura. I show up to a restaurant, order nothing but Prosecco, and I'm crying out of happiness outside. And the manager comes out and he goes, I just have to let you know, I don't know what's going on, but you are a really pretty crier. I was like, what?
It's a weird compliment, but a good one.
I was like, okay, thank you. And then, cause I was like trying to be in public and like discreet about it, but like, I'm like bawling my freaking eyes out. And he sits down and we have a great conversation. We're talking about my history over the last 10 years with this restaurant and what I've, you know, all the engagements I've had with it, all the things. And it just goes back to being. And for me, it's not about monetary wealth. It's about the value we carry. And I don't mean that in a numeric value. I just mean the value that you carry and what you can attract. And I've been playing very small and not acknowledging some of the relationships I have and opportunities I have. Maybe it took me needing to move. I don't know if I have new clarity. I don't know, but I just think about all of us that pay for courses and pay for better and pay to be in the right space when maybe you already are, and you don't need more, you need you.
Yeah, it's interesting, like this kind of comes around to, I did a podcast interview a couple of weeks ago, and one of the questions, like, we're going through the whole, like, what's your story? How do you, like all that stuff, normal podcast stuff. And, we got into like some rapid fire questions, and she was like, like, you're so confident, like it would be hard. I'm hard to believe that you are an introvert because you're so confident. And I was like, two different things, number one, but
100%.
but it's also that going back to that like energy of wealth. Confidence doesn't come from external anything, it comes from you. And her question to me was, how do you do that? How do you get that way? And I was like, well, one thing, I mean, I've been in business for 15 years.
Experience, yes.
Experience is
because I know.
Yeah, experience is just experience. And then it does take just a mindset of going, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know that I am worth it. It just takes an aura mindset of being confident and being in wealth in that regard. I think wealth is one of those words you can kind of interchange with confidence. I think they go hand in hand well. So it's interesting because she mentioned it, and I thought to myself as she said it, I would have never used that word for myself. But then I sat with it for a minute. I was like, yeah, I am.
Because you have a wealth of confidence, you have a wealth of knowledge, you have a wealth of experience. And I think we just associate wealth with monetary or money or fiscal, whatever, but you can be wealthy in so many other things, and
go ahead.
I was going to say, Leilani Filipingo, hello. She is live with us in the chat. So
yay. But I think that for a lot of small business owners, that is where they get tripped up, particularly new business owners. It's so easy to get tripped up in that confidence and mindset of wealth like that.
Yeah.
And then they get into that vicious cycle of going, I need to hire a coach. I need to hire another coach. I need to hire another coach.
To tell me I'm great.
When it's really, they can tell you all they want and you can pay them to do that, but it takes a lot more than just somebody else doing it. And so I think that's where a lot of business people, I mean, you and I have fallen into the sales funnel trap of that stuff. But that's, I think, where that comes from. You kind of go, I need to learn more. I need to, I need more skills. I need more something. And you fall into the cycle of spending tens of thousands of dollars on that shit.
Well, and as Lonnie says, validation is for parking. Boom. Love that. It's true. I think there's an interesting balance, and I wish I could say exactly the time it switches, but I feel like there's a point, like in the beginning, yes, you need the validation because it's something new to you. You're just like your first client, your first thing. Can I do this? Yes, honey, you can do this. Go do it. Like you need the support. I'm going to use the word support, maybe not validation or approval or wealth or any of that. You need that in the beginning, but then something, and I don't think anyone teaches this or keeps us mindful to this. There's a point where you need to look at the receipts of what you've done to say, because I know, like I'm going to be confident in saying this. I am onboarding a new client this week. Scared shitless of myself, of anyone in this industry, because she's been hurt. She's been traumatized by past people taking advantage of her. And I was very eager to not sell her, but to listen, because I know what I'm doing. I don't need to pitch it to you. I don't need to tell it to you, but you need someone to listen to you, be seen, be heard, and then see if I'm the right person, because it's not about, can I do it? Of course I can do it.
Yeah.
But are you ready? And do you trust me enough to be in on this with you? Because that now is where I'm realizing I'm wealthy. And in the beginning, you know, I tied wealth with what my bank account said. And that fluctuates because sometimes we go and spend $35,000 on a coaching program. Sometimes we're in a cash flow month and we have the 35, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think it's that conviction that we have and understanding and awareness, like, stop. We're always go, 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 more, 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 learn, do better, blah, blah, blah. When do we just stop and say, damn, I did good on that project?
Right.
Or, oh my God, I made a really great connection today that, you know, wonder where that goes.
Yeah.
There's so much more wealth in that, you know? And I literally the last 2 days have not been doing business and had the best business I could have been doing. And as we go back to this whole being thing, right? Like, all I've been doing is crying out of happiness in public, super cute. Drinking in public, super cute. Meeting connections and, you know, being with my people who are the last people I thought would show up for me in the last 2 days showed up. And, you know, interesting that they're the ones that's just where I hang out. That's just what I am. That's what I be.
Yeah. I think that a lot of new business owners, it's not even new business owners. I mean, I fall into this trap too. I did it just last week. I had a call with a client of mine and a good friend of mine who I've worked with for many years. And he called to ask me from a consulting perspective of a new like idea he has for revenue generating and like things he wants to do as far as like teaching seminars and like how do we market that? And he wanted to like, that's what I do for him. And you know, I was like, not that I would want to talk myself out of a job to like do your marketing, but this is the kind of thing that as a business strategist, I'm going to tell you, like, digital ads, Facebook ads will not work for this. You are not going to convert $15,000 on a seminar with Facebook ads. It's just not going to happen. And so anyway, so we kind of like talk about through this and I give him, you know, all of my advice. And then he asks, you know, so how are you doing? And I kind of mentioned this whole, like, I might be buying a business kind of thing, which he knows this business. And he was like, oh yeah, the one that you do the marketing for. And I was like, yeah. And so, you know, we're talking about it. We're kind of like, I'm giving him some of the details. He has sold a business before. So it's kind of nice. I could kind of get
There you go.
idea picking off of his brain on like how this process works, because I haven't done it before. And at the end of the conversation, he said to me, well, let me know if you need some money because I believe in you. And I caught myself going, holy shit, I am not as good as people think I am. But then I had to like sit with it and go, wait.
Oh, but I am.
But they think this because first for a reason, you know. Yeah. But my very first thought was, I'm faking this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I've obviously convinced you I do. But in actuality, I had to sit with it and go, wait, I kind of do know what I'm doing here. Like, no wonder he wants to be an investor in this company because he believes in me, not necessarily the company.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, like how we, even as, you know, new business owners do it, but even as a seasoned business owner and like in new projects and things still have that come up. Like you just don't get away from it. I think that, you know, talking about that kind of situation lets new business owners go, there isn't an end game in that kind of work, right? You're never finished. You still have to work on it.
I love this so much because like, as your friend, I want to be like seriously screaming out loud for you right now, but I'm like, okay, wait, we are taping something. Let's not do that right now. But too, it reminds me to share in another story is like, I've always felt like I came through the back door or trap door of my business. Like I never intended to I didn't go to school for this. I didn't set out to do this. It's a natural talent. And actually the designer that I was meeting with this week, he was sharing his story with the people that we ran into. And, even listening to his story, he went to like tech was his background and now he's a fashion designer. And when I first met him, he was in real estate and now he's, bespoke, one of the best tailors that we have, tailors, designers, all the things that we have. And it's interesting. I don't think any of us get into this trying to be in this. I think and I was talking to, oh my God, who was I telling that this week? I was talking to a client and their business was evolving and they were like, yeah, I set out to do this, but this is what everybody keeps asking for. And I was like, don't waste your money on what you think you should do. Follow the calling of what's telling you to be done. And it's just interesting. First of all, congratulations. Like, I'm not shocked by that at all. I've seen this many times. You are incredible at what you do. And I think it's phenomenal when you get it reflected back at you, because like all of us, we don't know it. And it's just natural. It's like second nature to us. We're like, what, doesn't everybody do this? And no, they don't.
Yeah. I think that all the time. I'm like, how do you know this? Of course that's how this goes, but that's
a celebration moment. So like, seriously, congratulations on that. I see that, I celebrate that. And I hope you follow him up on it, because I think it would be a good investment money, because it's someone with experience that, as you've already gleaned from his knowledge, I was actually talking about buying property this week. And the person I was speaking with, they were like, yeah, ask me whatever you want. I'd love to help you get started. And I, just basic stuff, but same thing here, and I think, how many people have, do lead gen on your calendar this week, whether it's calls, outreach, whatever. But like, if we just stop and like connect like humans to our current existing connections and network, look what happens. You're going to buy this business before episode 10. By the way, it's like 4. Yeah, I'm calling that one.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So there's a lot still to be done yet, but it was one of those moments where, and I think it's just interesting in this conversation, because I know that there are probably a lot of business people that will end up watching this at some point in time to go, I've been doing this now for 15 to 20 years and still have that problem. Still, like, I got myself out of the cycle probably quicker than I would have 10 years ago. Yeah. But I still do it.
Yeah, this person is opening up their 3rd location, the biggest one. So, we had the first one, the second one, the biggest location. And still he's like, yeah, I'm not I was like, are you proud of yourself? Like, look at what you've done. Like, this is incredible. And he's like, yeah, it hasn't hit me yet. And I believe he said, I'm still not proud yet. And I was like, what do you plan on doing? Because now, mind you, this is a genius mind. So there will always be some huge big picture. So I understand what they're saying, but at the same time, I was like, I just had to stop them. And we're in the, I don't know, construction of the store. So we're in it and there's still like flooring material. It's like all whatever. And he's got it on his phone, the floor map of what's going to be happening. And I'm just like, you just need to like hug the wall, like feel this, like, don't you see this? Like, but I get it. You're whatever, 4 weeks out from the grand opening, you're in the thick of it. But I was just
and you're in your head, and it's all the things.
Yeah. We all need these people to just stop us and be like, yo, happening.
Well, and going back to your comment about support, right? Like, yes, we do need support. I'm not saying that I'm not a believer in coaches. I very much am. I think that we all need support in that regard. And yes, I do think you need to pay for it. Like, you get what you pay for in a lot of those things. But I also think that there is some point in time where support comes from things like what you and I do. Like, it's
actually getting something done on your behalf versus just coaching you up.
More just the casual friendship of actually having this, like having these kinds of conversations, as opposed to paying somebody to go through a system. Paying somebody to go through a system is great. You do need those things. Like, those are skills you need. But I think that the support that probably moves us forward the most
100%
are things like this, like when we support each other for no purpose whatsoever. Like, other than support, other than to encourage each other or talk through things or things like that. So I think that there are a couple of different ways of trying to get support in your business, through hiring people and through just making connections with people and becoming friends. you know, I mean, since you and I have become friends, like look at where you are now and where I am now. Like we are different people than we were.
Oh, God, yeah, like, yeah. My eyebrows are getting sore from my like shock face, like legit sore. And Botox probably next because like,
Yeah, me too. I was just going, man, I might need something.
I agree. Well, if people can connect the dots, good for you. If you can't, then shush. I'm going to say it this way because I'm also just, I want to say it and it's fine, but I even had an ex circle back in my life. And it was interesting talking to them because they're now like, you're finally seeing yourself the way that I saw you 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Like,
interesting.
Rude. But also like
true, but
true.
Get it.
And just interesting because to have people that have been in your life and in this instance kind of on and off and on and off again, thank you for that, and to just see what they see but with new ears and new eyes and new appreciation. It's like, whoa, okay, like I thought you were my nemesis, turns out like we're gonna be friends now. Like, who knew? This is weird. And the support and like what you were saying about, I was explaining how my definition of love has changed. I grew up, I've been in and understood love transactionally. I'll do this, you'll give me that. Like, this is what's gonna happen. And now with you and Leilani, actually, who's watching us, my two best friends, and a few other people, shout out to Suha Tulkman, to Kathleen Lansing, to Michael Weston, all the people that are in my closest inner circle, like you poor people. But y'all have taught me what love is, like actually is, and it's the support that you're talking about. It's listening, it's being there, it's calling, it's asking for advice, freely giving it, and sharing our experiences, because even the best and the best of the best, I'm going to just say this, Kathleen, to me, I haven't met someone better than this yet. Multi-million-dollar business owner, multiple companies, badass, travel size, incredible human being.
All your people are travel sized.
I know, we talked about this last time. I don't know. It's okay. I just want, well, not really. Michael Weston's what is he like? 6'9". I don't think I'm kidding. That boy's close to 7 feet tall. Yeah. That he is tall. And I did not call him a boy in terms of things. That's sorry, Michael. We are not calling you a boy. No. That grown ass man
is tall.
He's freakish, like, and that's like flat-footed too, like wild. Yeah. To me though, it's just, you guys have all taught me a lot. And that was another thing that was helping me cry in public. Thank you all. Because, I'm sitting there sending out all the messages and just getting the love back, even though you're busy, you have meetings, you do other things, but to have that support where I really haven't had that before. Mine was very much achieve, do, and then be loved. It was never okay to just be me. Like I wasn't enough to that. Now I am, but that was new for me. So yeah. Leilani says, for every one negative you hear, it takes 10 positive things to omit the negative. This is why we hold on to such fear, guilt, and whatnot. Yep. Totally agree. It's interesting though. And so, yeah, this inner support and asking for it. I believe I started this because if I remember to out us, we met through a shared acquaintance, Shauna McKenzie, Shauna Van Bogart, whatever we want to call her, married name, not married name, if anyone wanted to know that. And we had met because we were kind of the same industry, but we were also in the group. And I think I reached out to you because I needed a marketing connection. If I'm very transparent, like, I think it was like networking, trying to get to know you. And then you pull out a squirrel. I'm not actually kidding people. This woman fosters squirrels. She's like, excuse me, I hope you don't mind. I need to, feed my squirrel. And I was like, excuse me. She pulls out like a foster squirrel
and like a little one.
Yeah, like a little with a baby bottle and still talking to me like normal day. And I'm like, I need this woman in my life. Like, what is happening? And then I don't remember how, but I just remember saying it was like middle of COVID or something. We were talking about how we miss coffee dates. We can't really go out. And it's nice to just decompress because it's almost like a form of social therapy that, you know, when shit hits the fan, you're like, hey, do you have time to grab a drink? Or hey, do you have time to grab a coffee or a tea or whatever it is? It was there. And we had that stripped from us. And I think as business owners, we're batshit crazy to do what we do in the sense of there's no stability, there's no promise, there's no guarantee of any of what we do on a daily basis going right. We have to have our support system. And so it's vital. So maybe if we can inspire just a few other people to reach out to that one person that you just enjoy their time and make your own mimosa hotlines, make your own inner circle, not out of social status or climbing or, you know, being around that person, but
get something or
but who breathes life into you, who gives you that support, who helps you feel more like yourself and be more of yourself. Like you're getting this, I'm getting this. People are like, oh, you're finally owning what I've seen in you. I was like, what did it take me shaving my head? Like people, why didn't you say anything?
Tell me that.
Oh man. Yeah, it's been, I mean, I just look around. Not even the cats are the same. You know, the good news though, in honor of that, I like to say there was the Max era and now we have the Dragon and Mula era and then, you know, whatever, but it's just interesting.
Yeah. I mean, this is not anything that we even mentioned to talk about before this call, but I think it's evolved into a really important conversation, particularly for business owners, like for entrepreneurs that
can't do it alone.
Sitting at home going, I'm working my ass off, but not really happy about it.
Or maybe not making movement. I know like our talks every Sunday, I feel like are my board meetings, you know, like, yeah, we're talking literally anything from budgets to boys. I won't even lie on that part. But at the same time, I get motion to take, you know, like we decided to keep the couch, all the things.
We decided to move to Chicago in 2 months.
I moved. Oh my God. If we
on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh my God, I know. Everything happens from this. I think between you and Leilani, my entire life is dictated, like literally decided upon between what do the girls say?
We're not telling you what to do, just to clarify.
No, but you definitely validate the good ideas. You're not there for the bad ones. You just sit there lovingly being like, uh-huh. And then the other ones, you're like, let's go. Okay. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I think our topic was backwards branding and marketing, but you know, maybe
we'll save that for another day.
Yeah, another day for sure. But I think, yeah, here we basically have focused on our unlearning of wealth and what that means and what it means to actually be wealthy in your life and owning it. Leilani says, I'm pretty sure I did not say move to Chicago. Yeah, Leilani, just so everyone knows, Leilani is my best friend here in Portland, Oregon. And
she's not happy about it, but I am.
That's true friendship. This is where this is what we're talking about. True love. When you love someone enough that you can help them move across the country to leave you only to plan quarterly visit. So I'll be between like and diversifying our fun because now we have like Chicago as a new playground and we just have the whole country now to explore. But yes, so talking about wealth, talking about the power of connection and inner circle, and
that comes up a lot for us.
Yeah, and always being ready, you know, whether it's tinting your eyebrows and lashes or, you know, realizing you're in a change phase, living like a college grad student, and maybe it's just, let's take the day to clean up and reset. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, this whole business.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of always been one of my topics. So I'm in the membership that's like a podcast membership, and they ask you to like do your one sheet and like, what are your topics you want to talk about? And this is always one of those topics where entrepreneurship is very isolating. And I feel like these are conversations that one, you can't buy a coach for. You know, like you can buy a coach for a lot of things, but these are conversations you have with friends that happen to also be in business. And that it's isolating. And that the other thing is you really talk about what it takes to run a business as opposed to what all of the guru systems teach you. Like I'm such a big believer. Like I know that when I'm sitting at happy hour with people that are in business, friends, colleagues, whoever it might be,
Best advice.
we might talk about like how well does a reel do on Instagram to kind of get you some visibility, but the topic is about the visibility, not the tactic to get there, right? Like the conversations we have are, well, what's the ROI on that? Like what are the business things that happen from that, right?
Or how are you going to feel in running your business doing reels? Does that even make sense for the day-to-day life you want to live?
Right.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, it's just a tactic at the end of the day. The strategy is visibility. And so, you know, being an entrepreneur gets isolating because you don't talk that strategy because there's nobody there to talk to about it. And when you hire coaches, most of the time it's not affordable to hire coaches one-on-one to have those conversations. You know, that's, if you're in a position to do that, great. And if you do it, but most coaches are kind of getting out of that because the strategy doesn't make a ton of money.
Well, and also we're not, just to be clear too, we are not bashing coaches.
No,
what we're
not at all.
saying is that you have coaches, natural coaches around you all the time that maybe are not even leveraging to do in tandem with a paid coach or something.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree. Like, to me, I think it's interesting when we connect, because I remember, like, you're always playfully laughing at me when I say this, but I always feel like, but I'm normal. Like, that's normal. Like, I can't tell you how many times when you say like, that's normal, like other business, but we're so isolated. Of course, we think we're batshit crazy, that we're doing something wrong, that only we are experiencing this problem. Because when you're a party of one, only you are. But when you bring others in, it helps. Like even Leilani with her business, virtual assistants, and she has VA, OBM, entire empire in the works. Speaking to her as a fellow agency owner and what that's like, speaking to you as a specialist, speaking, and all of your background in COO and all the various genius things that you've done, it just gives you context. Right. To know that, okay, I'm not crazy. I am normal. This is a growth spurt, or, oh, that makes sense. So that's why, like, my evolution. So I first started with SBDC, Small Business Development Center. These are free resources across the country. Just Google it, Small Business Development Center. They usually have like a hub in every city or so, usually at a college campus. Free counseling to go in and talk to somebody. Now they're government funded. They have to have reached a certain level in business. The other one is SCORE. That one, I don't know what it stands for, but same idea.
Yeah, it's what the chamber for.
Yeah, there's the Chamber of Commerce, like go to networking events. Don't always just go to get the buck, go to get the connection, because sometimes that connection can turn into a COI or a center of influence that then brings you 10 different clients, you know? And I think the sweet spot of business that we aren't hearing a lot about is referral marketing. We hear about, you know, masses, classes, and asses, as my dad says, which, like, you're trying to get everybody to be your client, versus if you can get 3 people that know you inside and out, believe in you, and will happily refer people to you. I know both you and Leilani do this for me all the time. I think she just said, get the business cards. Yep, she's saying about the networking and things. Not only going for the potential clients, but who do you think could be a power partner for you, a referral partner, or a happy hour connection partner that can just, you know, sit with you and be like, this is my week. Is this crazy? No, like, that's how that happens. Like your week, what was it last week when you were like, oh my God, I've got 6 projects in the fire and they all want something, just to hear, nope, that's normal. Okay, that's right. And it just gives you a little bit of breathing room to be like, okay, this is just part of the ebbs and flows of business.
Yeah, you're allowed to be overwhelmed because you're busy.
Totally allowed to freak out, but how can we either help or just take 5 seconds to get perspective? Because I know I secretly do that every Monday morning. I spend the first 30 minutes giving myself perspective, where I'm looking at all of my active projects, all of my desired projects to do. What is my human capacity? when my
Yeah.
superhuman business mind wants me doing all of this. And it's just taking those 5 seconds to just ground in.
Yeah, that human capacity. We should talk about that in another topic, because that's a thing, because I'm bad about that.
Me too. I like to say I have superhuman ambition with human capacity. And I need people like Leilani and I do huddles every week. Before that, it was another assistant, but I got an upgrade with Leilani. So you know, huddles, just giving yourself perspective and having someone there to be like, okay, like I said this to you, I think last week, remember that what we do in a day is 10 times more than the average, you know, employee bot. I'm just going to call him that for now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not sorry, but it's
I mean,
true.
for lack of a better term, a worker.
Yeah. I said it. It
takes all kinds.
It takes all kinds.
We need them.
Yeah, so it's
probably going to need to hire a few of those soon anyway.
Definitely, absolutely. Yeah, we need them. But you know, for us, as where we're at as CEOs of a company, it is our job to have the right questions and the discernment to make the final decision, not necessarily to do all of the tasks, but to know how to oversee it, direct it, and get it done. So I'm gonna have to replay that because I think that was smart. I need to hear myself say that again. I was like, yeah, girl, that's what that's about. Okay. Good. Weird.
It was smart.
One.
You say smart things. You should give yourself more credit.
Now watch me go like trip over something after this, because like I need to equilibrate. See, even a word, like I'll just make up words. Equilibrate means to calibrate your equilibrium. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Make up words all day long. Anywho, so I think we should end by saying that we want to have more hot seat guest experts. So one of the things that we're going to do is open that up. I'm going to add a link into the description. We're going to change it after this because we went in a perfect direction, a divine direction instead of what we thought. And I'll put it in there. If you're interested in being a hot seater, what that means is we will pull you on live with us and you get to ask us any questions that you currently have for your business, your brand. And let's throw in life there too. If we can be your girlfriends for that, we can help out with a few things. We're happy to.
Always need friends.
Always need more friends. Business besties, we're here for you. And to help just in any capacity. If you have a business question, a branding, a marketing, whatever it is, we're pretty savvy on things. And the best part is if we don't know, we're happy to say, I don't know, let me look into that or make connections for you that will help with that. So
that's what I was going to say. I don't know. I know people that do.
Yes, exactly. So we're happy to be well connected. We're leaning into it. We're being more of ourselves, which watch out, that just means more genius. And hot seats will be available. Definitely. Also guest speakers, you know, we want other experts to come on here as well with us. So we're excited for it. Business Besties, great name for another podcast. Yes, true. That's true. So we have that. We go live every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That may change when we get to Chicago, but details will tell you when that happens. Any final words, thoughts, concerns, emotional outbursts?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, on that note, we will close out. Leilani, thank you for being with us. We need to have Leilani on here live with us. So the trio, if everyone met the trio, maybe she'll be our third co-host at some point and just bring her in on this. But yes, thanks for doing this. You're welcome. Again, comments are open. If you guys have questions, there's anything that you have, either you want to be a hot seat or just ask a question after being live or on the replay, we want to hear and engage with you. So thanks for letting us share our world with you, and we're eager to engage with you.